Let's talk about my job. What do I do? Do I love it? Should you consider becoming a medical laboratory scientist? And most importantly, my paycheck. What is up, guys? It's Hyra. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. I post every Thursday. Today is going to be a short video. I'm going to tell you about my job, just a little something about my job. I have a tendency to ramble whenever I'm asked about my job, so I made some notes. First of all, I went to Mara University of Science and Technology and I did a bachelor's in medical laboratory science, so I'm a medical laboratory scientific officer. Not to confuse you guys, I know you've heard of medical laboratory technologists, medical laboratory scientists, and now I'm here telling you I'm a medical laboratory scientific officer. So the differences in our titles come in either because we've gone to different universities or we've been licensed by different bodies, but we definitely do the same job. I do work in a hospital laboratory, so whatever I'm going to talk about today is in relation to a hospital lab. And also because the term medical laboratory technologist is more common here, I'm going to be using that. The major role of a medical laboratory technologist is to assist in the diagnosis and treatment of disease through performing qualitative and quantitative tests on human body samples. So when you come to the lab, we take your samples, most commonly blood, urine, and stool. We perform these tests on your samples and we give you or your doctor the results. Generally speaking, the results will help in diagnosis and treatment of disease in mainly 4 ways. Number 1, by detecting disease. On a regular medical checkup, an abnormal result may indicate or hint on you having a specific disease. With that being said, if you're not vaccinated for hepatitis B, please go test, and if you're negative, make sure that you get vaccinated ASAP. Number 2 is by confirming the doctor's diagnosis. When you go to your doctor and you tell them how you're feeling, they take your history and all that, and they suspect that you have a particular disease. For example, if they think you have malaria or you have a kidney disease, they will send you to the laboratory to do a test to confirm their diagnosis. For example, they will send you to do a malaria test, and when it turns out positive, that's when they will start the treatment. Number 3 is by regulating therapy. So, there are patients that are on long-term treatment. They have to continue taking their drugs in order to keep healthy. Let's say, for example, patients who have artificial heart valves. These patients are on long-term treatment with warfarin. Warfarin is an anticoagulant. What it does is prevent blood clots from forming in these patients' bodies. But remember, excess warfarin leads to bleeding. And as much as we want to prevent clotting, we don't want bleeding to happen either, because you can die from both. So to monitor and control the patient's dose of warfarin, these patients are usually sent to the lab to do a test called PT-INR at least once a month. So depending on the INR results, your doctor will either increase the dose or decrease the dose of your warfarin. So number 4 is ruling out a diagnosis. So sometimes I receive patients and they tell me they feel like we shouldn't do that test. They're like, I don't know why we are doing this test. I know it's going to turn out negative, and maybe you're right. But in so many situations, it's important that we rule out a diagnosis. And we are dealing with lives here. We don't want to assume that you're not suffering from this, and the situation becomes complicated, and then we realize that what almost killed you is something we assumed that you wouldn't be suffering from. In this video, I'm not going to talk about what happens in the lab because I don't want it to be long. But if you want me to make a video on that, please let me know in the comment section. The other thing, do I love my job? Yes, I absolutely love my job. I love helping people, and I know that being sick sucks. So being part of a team that is helping the patient feel better is so satisfying. And the other thing is that you never have a dull day in the lab. Each day presents with different fun stuff, different challenges. You know, the machine breaking down or acting weird, and you have to troubleshoot, look for a solution. And that's a nice thing because I get bored very easily. Anyway, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Sometimes I hate my job at 3 a.m. on a night shift when I really want to sleep, but I have 10 samples to run, and then the machine breaks down, and then I'm moving up and down, and I don't know where I'm going because I'm so sleepy, confused, and mad. And let's hope my boss doesn't know about my channel because I may not have a job tomorrow. Should you consider becoming a medical laboratory scientist? I think you should. If you love working with people, I feel like it would be a satisfying job. Working at night is not that big of a problem. First of all, you get more days off. For example, I work 4 shifts a week, 2 days and 1 night. That means I get some 3.7 days off, so it's cool. The last thing, my paycheck. So one person told me there are 3 things you should keep private. First, your next move. I'm still working on that because I'm always running my mouth about what I'm gonna do next. 2, my love life. I don't really have a love life to keep private right now, so we'll see about that. 3, your income. That means I'm not telling you the exact figure on my paycheck, but I'm definitely going to give you some information. Remember, what I'm telling you today is only related to the hospital labs. Just know medical laboratory technologists don't work in hospitals only. They work in so many places. They work in research labs, in NGOs, supply companies, and those other places. But I did a little research, so this is not like statistical data, it's just based on me and the people I talked to. So the average range for a medical laboratory technologist here in Uganda, of course, is between 1M and 2M net. That means that there are people who will get lower than that, and there are those that get more than that. To be clear, I don't want you to finish studying, get a job, and someone's giving less than 1M, and you look for me saying that whatever. I have told you that clearly. So I also have friends who have been made lab managers in their respective laboratories, and they earn over 3M net pay a month. I earn less than that, so please don't come don't ask me for any money at the end of this month. If you watch this video up to this point, I love you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications. Also follow me on Instagram, share this video with your friends. See you in the next video. Bye. And on we'll go.